Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel, or as my Ghanaian siblings will say, Akwaba. My name is Debbie, your favorite lifestyle content creator here on YouTube. I spent 30 days in Ghana, and for context, Ghana is the first African country that I'm visiting. And guess what? I went by road. Yes, road trip chronicles. And of course, I documented the whole experience. So if you want to know how that went, you can check out the playlist here of my Ghana travel videos and all that. But that should be after this video. So you want to make sure to watch this video to the end before you go over there. Okay? All right. So today, let's talk about the culture shocks I experienced in Ghana as a Nigerian. Trust me, it was an experience. I'm telling you, it was an experience. So let's start with the first shock. Data in Ghana is pretty expensive, and as someone who works online, this really hit hard. So in Ghana you get like 92, I think it was at about 92.8 gig data for 30 days at 350 cedis. That's like the highest data plan, and that's 35,000 naira thereabouts, right? Whereas in Nigeria you can get a whooping 250 gig for 60 days, not even like 30 days, like 2 months plan at 30k. So you can see the difference. That's wild. And then the big data plans are very, very limited in Ghana. So if you are planning to go to Ghana, you definitely know that you have to budget for data, because it's really expensive. I'm talking MTN, like, yeah, before you say, oh, did I use MTN? Yes, it was MTN. It was pretty expensive. Next up, the transportation. So the transportation in Ghana is very similar to Nigeria. So I'm talking about the public transportation, their public buses. They call their public buses trotro. It's very similar to the way Nigeria does it, that you know how the conductor will stand and call mile 2, Oshodi, this, that, right? It's the same way it is in Ghana. They'll be calling La Paz, Medina, La Paz, Medina. Yeah, it was very similar. However, Ghana's buses are very comfortable in terms of seating arrangements. Yes. Imagine entering a bus and finding everyone seated comfortably, like 3-3, like in the small buses, or 4-4 in the bigger buses, and they are really, really comfortable. I'm telling you. Unlike Nigeria, that is for even the chair that is made for even the seats that are made for 4 people, yes, made for 3 people, they will make sure it's 4, sometimes even 5, right? So that's one thing I really saw in Ghana, that I was like, wow, okay, it's quite, different. So here's a random but interesting one that I found out in Ghana. They measure in milliliters instead of like centiliters, so in mils rather than cls, unlike Nigeria. So their water, their liquids, everything is measured in mil, while in Nigeria, we use like CL and stuff like that. And then in Ghana, I saw that their bottled water was full to the brim. Yeah, I think I mentioned this also in that my first week in Ghana video, where I saw their water is usually like very full to the brim. And it was interesting to see. The next culture shock, you guys, that I had is taxes. The taxes in Ghana is crazy. When I say crazy, I mean really crazy. They pay 15% value added tax. They pay COVID levy 1%. I saw this thing like in my receipt, and I was just screaming. I was like, why am I paying COVID levy? Have we not passed that era? There is 1% tourism levy. There is one, I think 2.5% health insurance levy. Like, you guys, I took a picture. I'll definitely put it here so that you see what I'm talking about. Don't be surprised when you're buying something at like maybe a supermarket or the mall, anywhere that gives you receipt, and you start seeing some very funny additions and all that. Yeah, you pay tax. And it's not even just for me as a foreigner, it's everybody. Like, it's everybody. Ghanaians love Momo. Honestly, like, I have never seen Momo work so well like it does in Ghana. Like, I know they are in Nigeria, but they are not really like out there in Nigeria. So Momo to Ghana is like what Ope is to Nigeria. everybody uses Momo. Everywhere is Momo. You can pay anything with Momo. In fact, some of the taxi guys or the cab guys will tell you when they don't have like cash or change, that can they send your change to your Momo. Like, yeah, so Momo is the mobile money transfer. It's like mobile wallet. It's like mobile form of payment for Ghanaians, and that is really where I think MTN had the biggest adoption there in Ghana, because I'm not sure they have that kind of adoption here in Nigeria like that. But there, Momo, 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 Momo everywhere. Another thing I noticed in Ghana is this please culture. Hey, the way they use please, they'll be like, yes, please, you're welcome, please. The one that shocked me was when kids were greeting me and they're like, Auntie, please, good morning. And I'm like, why are you putting please? It's cute, but I'm like, why are you using please? Like, why? Like, just greet normal good morning or just say you're welcome, but like, yes, please, welcome, please, good morning, please, everything, please. Ghana. Now, let's talk about the food. One thing I noticed about Ghanaians is that they love shito. Shito, I think that's how to pronounce it, right? Shito. So it's like this black pepper, this thing. They love eating it with their rice. I mean, if you go to the restaurant and you buy their jollof rice, it will come with it. They like is a staple over there. They love using it to eat their rice. Also they like pepper, but I think it's like green pepper they actually like, because when you even buy, like, let me say yam and pork, they'll put that green pepper. If you buy fries, they'll put that green pepper. Like, they just always, put they like pepper, and it's usually green pepper. In fact, speaking of peppers, you guys, I saw them eating banku and pepper. So banku is like a staple food in Ghana. Like, banku is a staple food in Ghana. So I understood that, okay, it's like swallow, in Nigeria, that you eat with like normal soups and everything. But when I saw them eating banku with pepper and tilapia, that's when I knew that so you just imagine, you just carry swallow and use either you have options. You can use red pepper, yellow pepper, green pepper to be eating banku, to be eating the swallow, and then with fish and everything. And I'm like, okay, okay. And also, tilapia fish is very common in Ghana, actually. And fish generally, but I think it's mostly in the outskirts of Accra. I don't know if you find it a lot in Accra, but where we ate it a lot, and I found it was like around that Tema Akosombo area, right? So you see like a lot of different species of fish, tilapia, different other species. And speaking of food again, I also noticed that in Ghana, they hardly have soups that have vegetables in them. The only one so far is okra, but like they have granite soup, one other, like their soups are usually plain, and there's no much, green vegetables, green things. Like, how in Nigeria we have vegetable soup, we have edikako, we have egusi, like all these soups that will definitely have leaves in them. It's not like that in Ghana. I didn't get to see, apart from okra, that has leaf inside inside this. I'm like, this is that just we don't need to eat vegetable or what? Like, I don't understand. But yeah, that's another thing in terms of their food that I figured. However, what was my favorite food in Ghana? It was their wache. I actually liked their wache. I liked the way they, did it. They mixed it. It was just very, I don't know, unique and different way of cooking rice and beans, right? And all that. Yeah, that was the food I really liked. Then I liked the granite soup as well. There was this place very close to Accra Technical College, Technical University. Yes, I went to eat their banku. So it was banku and granite soup, and the soup was really good. Like, it was very, very tasty, very, very nice, and very filling. So yeah, those were like my favorite meals in Ghana. And the jollof, let's not have that conversation. But yeah, now let me tell you something. Ghanaians love Nigerian music. See, forget all these fights, all these things on social media. Ghanaians love Nigerian music a lot, because everywhere you go in Ghana, they are playing Nigerian music. Everywhere, everywhere. Like they are playing Nigerian music. So that's one thing you would definitely see a lot in Ghana. So you people like Nigeria like this, but if I do Shakara, I'll be anyway. So one last interesting thing about Ghana is that they don't use states, like how we have Lagos State, Kiti State, Anambra State. They don't use that in Ghana. What they use is regions. So they do Eastern region, Northern region, and I think they have about 16 different regions in Ghana. Yeah, so it's like a different vibe in Ghana, but it's really cool. It's very interesting to see a different culture, and that's the beautiful thing about traveling. That's what traveling helps you do. You go to other places and you see how they do their things, how they live their lives, and it was really an interesting experience. So these are the culture shocks I experienced in Ghana as a Nigerian. It was such an eye-opening and enjoyable trip. So if you've ever visited Ghana, I would love to know what shocked you most, about their culture. And if you're planning to visit, I hope this video gives you a heads up on what to expect. Okay, don't forget to check out the playlist so that you can see all the places I visited in Ghana, and you can also get more information there. And of course, thank you so much. Please like this video so that the algorithm can actually show it to more people. And of course, I will see you in the next video. Bye.